mind to control your vehicle. And technology is as if pushing us to improve our own mental cognitive abilities. The next question: do you think telepathy is likely? Do you believe in clairvoyance? Does God tell individuals the specific future? They're all different experiences classified in one paranormal domain. Paranormal because they are outside the domain of the normal range of normality, but they are not abnormal. All of us have brief experiences of these things, and if we are conscious, we are aware it happened. If we are not, we dismiss it as imagination or just don't know it. But the fact is, telepathy does exist. All of us can experience it. You can even test it with sensitive people easily without much effort. Just project a concentrated thought, and often the other person gets it. There are many ways of improving the projection and transmission, but these are things which have been experimented with in laboratories and verified. So with clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is nothing but the capacity of our sensory consciousness to disengage from the physical senses. Ask yourself a simple question: who is it within you that sees? Now, this is a question which is placed in the Kena Upanishad way back in the Vedic times in India, 5,000 6,000 years ago. And they ask, who is the seer within the seeing? Now, your eyeballs don't see. The retina only converts light into electricity, which goes to the back of your brain. But the brain also does not see, it only processes electrical signals. Who is seeing? And at some point, you come to what Peter Russell refers to repeatedly: there is consciousness which is seeing, and all the seeing is taking place within that consciousness. So the true seer is your mental awareness. And that's why it's called the sixth sense. This seer, disengaging from the physical brain, can turn its direct seeing across to anything. And the moment it has disengaged from the physical senses, it can see across distances of time and space. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, even visions of the future are possible, or the past. And this is what they call today remote viewing. And what is found is you can train anybody to remote view. And the CIA recently declassified 10,000 documents of remote viewing, which demonstrate that it's a reality. The question is, how does it happen? Well, current psychology does not have sufficiently deep understanding of the realities of consciousness. But there is a deeper psychology which was developed in India many thousand years ago, yogic psychology we may call it, which describes these inner dimensions of consciousness. And once you understand those, most of these phenomena are not only obvious, but they can also be trained and developed consciously, just as we develop any other skill of mind or of body. And this is certainly a necessity for the future of humanity. The next question: as you know, the mother and Sri Aurobindo brought down consciousness into the cells of the body in the early 60s, making matter conscious. Is that a correct assessment? What is happening now in our human evolution, and how is it different than what they did? How does telling yourself the truth about who you are help you to evolve? Okay, there are many different questions here. The first one is, yes, Sri Aurobindo and the mother worked for what they saw to be the future of human evolution. And the future, they said, is not in the mental intellectual consciousness, but a gradation of consciousness above mind, a supra-mental consciousness, which is that essential consciousness dynamized to manifest itself. Now that oneness of the supramental consciousness is what our next step of evolution will be, which is as different to the human being as the human consciousness is different from the animal. And everything is pushing us towards that. You will see all circumstances of life bring us to a kind of a gridlock where our rationality cannot give you an answer. Only a shift in consciousness to something deeper, wider, more essential one can help us to transcend the problems and even solve those problems. So there's a kind of a push upwards. But in that essential consciousness is also the power to heal all the contradictions existing in the fragmented consciousness of mind or life force or matter. So their work was to realize that essential consciousness and bring it down all the way to